About you being here.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much, Linda.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, we're live already. Hey. Oh, wow. all those people out there. Look at them. There's got to be at least 80 to 100,000 people out there. You think it's a Rod Stewart concert?
We got 252 in the house right now. It'll get bigger as it goes along. You guys, we were 1 minute late, but I had to. Thank God, American Express will notify you if someone's trying to make a foreign thing, or they were trying to do $2 on my Facebook, and it was my American Express. So a lot of time got used up with them verifying who I am, new passcodes, all this stuff.
Were the charges being made for the Thunder Down Under show or something along those lines?
Well, it was some gaming thing.
Okay, then it clearly wasn't you. Look at your children.
And it was foreign. It was in a foreign country.
Oh, okay.
Well, David, I was told about you from my friend Dan. I don't know if he's here right now. Hi, everybody. And Dan said, check this guy out because you did a video on Trump being really sick.
Yes.
As you know, I don't know if you watch me at all, but for forever, I saw him in a glass coffin. And forever I've been saying that, and so is Andre, my astrologer, that his health is bad.
And you're watching just the mental health decline with him. One of my viewers had pointed out there's a couple of psychiatrists that have a podcast, and they've been talking about watching like what looks like his frontal lobe dementia just progress. And the thing they keep saying is, this is the best he's ever going to be, because tomorrow he's just going to be a little bit worse. And the falling asleep in court is a very classic dementia thing. The other thing they threw out there, which was really interesting, was the reason why you never see defendants fall asleep in court is you wouldn't put a dementia patient in court. They wouldn't be able to they wouldn't be there. Yes. So it's unusual to see it.
Is he drugged at all?
Not that I know of, but it also probably means that any stimulants he might normally take during the day probably aren't also available for him. So he's got that challenge.
We were quite thrilled, Dan and I, that you said he should be gone by next week the way the cards are looking. Time frames are horrible.
Yeah.
Time frames are horrible. But astrologically, with all the astrologers I listen to, including Andre, June is what they're definitely looking at.
In that reading, I started off with the summer solstice, and it definitely showed him being laid out by the summer solstice. And as I was picking the cards up, and I tend to ramble as I get ready for the next question, Barron's graduation suddenly popped into mind. And I was trying to why am I thinking of Barron's graduation? Like, oh no, don't tell me he has it before Barron's, like by Barron's graduation. And when I did the cards on that one, there's something that's going to happen. Now, the logical part of me says, I give it like a 10% chance it happens, even though the cards were lined up that way. I did a reading again on it last night, and I'll be damned if I didn't get the same darn thing. So I'll still be flabbergasted if he has an event, a crippling event this Friday. I logically, I like to think something's going to happen with him on Friday. It may not be a crippling medical event, but is it going to be something that violates the gag order, tries to go for mistrial? Who knows? Something big seems like it's scheduled to happen at the end of this week.
That could be because they've announced that Cohen is the last one.
Yeah.
So they get done with the court, they'll do closing arguments on Thursday. It could be to the jury, and the jury may turn around and come back and say, sucker's guilty as hell.
Yeah, because I can't see I don't know what the defense is going to put on to refute this. I mean, they've got all the documentation, and listening to, I think it was Midas Touch last night, all the cross-examination, none of that's evidence. The jury can't take that into account when they debate this case. They can only they can ignore opening arguments and cross. All they can take in is the evidence that's taken into court and the testimony of experts. And if the defense doesn't put any experts on there, they can't win the case. The only thing they can hope for is a mistrial or a mistrial.
Well, they're right now cross-exam. They're going after him about you hate Trump, don't you? Duh. He ruined his life. But Maria says narcissists also sleep when faced with consequences they can't evade. That's interesting. Okay, well, listen, just give us a little history. We'll answer this next. About you. How long have you been doing this?
Oh, sure. I started taking lessons from Lena Rodriguez back in February, March of 2020, just as COVID hit. And
sorry.
Aw. And I did some, I would do some things for friends on Facebook every once in a while. And then in the summer of 2022, I had a reading with this really awesome tarot reader and intuitive. And she recommended after my readings, like, you've got the gift. You really should start a YouTube channel. And I offered to actually, after that reading, I offered to do a tarot reading for her, which she accepted. And the question she was asking was, I'm writing a book. Will I have it done by the end of this year?
Is that me?
And that was you.
Oh my God. And well, by the Bay, did you change your name, or has that always been your name?
At the tarot, I didn't have a channel at that point.
Oh, I had met you. I thought I'd met you before.
And we've also met at Angel Heart. You did a fundraiser for Carol over at Angel Heart when Kirsten was at the same time that Kirsten was just recovering from her illness.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So yeah, you're the one who started me. You pushed the boat out from the shore.
Yeah, how you got in the business. I'm the one that started him.
You're the one started.
And then Dan saying, "This guy's good. You're good, my friend."
And that's the thing, Linda. You've set a lot of careers on their path. So that was another reason I'm excited. It's like, and you had even, and she won't remember this either, but this, I'm sure she does this for all the folks. She was saying, when you're established, like if you're going to charge for readings, if you've got a page set up, call me, I'll have you on and we'll do that. But make sure you're set up because, people are going to want your services. So you have to be ready for it. Like,
when they can't get a hold of you.
Yeah, Melissa, the free range psychic. I remember when she was first on your show, you literally broke her internet for people going and getting readings from her.
That got Sterling started.
Yeah, I remember when. As a matter of fact, I booked a reading with Sterling soon after he was on your show. Oh, okay, yeah. So that was also in 2021. It was right before COVID.
And Kim, of you.
I love her.
My store. She used to come in my store with her daughter, and everything I prophesized for them came true. And she said, "Do you think?" I said, "Yeah, girl, go for it."
Her husband Adam. If Gary and I ever get to meet Kim and Adam, oh God, poor Kim's gonna hate her life because Gary, Adam, and I are gonna get along like a house of fire. I have no doubts about that.
Well, listen, I've been trying to listen. I do need to ask you something, but we'll finish this question first. Sure. That's popped in my head. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch MSNBC because I can't stand Katie Tur. I don't hate her as a person, but she's totally pro-Trump. I'm telling you. Snide, she dismissive, and the polls say Biden's losing. What the hell are you talking about? So I had to change to CNN. And then while I'm watching CNN, they brought in that guy, Vince. That was over at the trial. Vince, what's his name, you guys?
Oh, Vivek Ramaswamy?
Vince something. The one who used to say Trump was terrible, and now they're in the courtroom with him.
I'm drawing a blank, sorry. Vance. Oh, J.D. Vance? J.D. Vance, the guy, the senator from, he's angling to be a VP pick or something like that, mini Trump, if you were.
And then Johnson's there, and they're talking trash about the daughter, and he's all, I just think this is a setup. But listen, a grand jury did this. We've got people that came. We've got people, regular street people. So why do they always blame Biden?
because their viewers don't fact check anything. They just like to be told who to hate. Here, you hate this guy this time, and they're more than willing to do it for him.
Yes.
It's I mean, from their point of view, it's great. They have little hate machines. They just wind them up and set them off. But eventually, they're going to wind down.
Nancy the Water Chick said, "Can someone explain whether repute senators and House leaders have appeared in court with Trump?"
Okay.
So it's definitely to make points with him.
Yeah.
I doubt very much that Democrats will stand up for Johnson again.
Good Lord. Oh man. There's a lot going on here. They're trying to stand behind him. They realize if he loses this case, they are done. He's done, and they are done, and they are doing everything they can to win the court of. Basically, they know he's going to lose the case, so they have to win the court of public opinion and convince their base that Trump really is being set up on this. I've got the King of Wands, the Nine of Wands, the Page of Wands, the Two of Wands. This is all fire energy that they're trying to get with this. But over it is the Six of Swords. So it's like Trump gets convicted. They want to create this big wave, but there's no wave there. So now they have to go behind the scenes and figure out what they're going to do because Trump holds all the money. And if they can't get Trump out of this, Trump is going to take his marbles and leave. And they are screwed for the elections because he's holding all the money. And the outcome is the justice card. So it doesn't matter if they're there or not. It's not going to make a difference. This is just a dog and pony show for Fox News in Trump's ego. We got
over 1,700 in the House now.
There you go.
If you post it, they will come. So that's what I'm getting too. But also karma's going to get them bad. I got the karma card.
Well, people aren't going to forget this, you know? I mean, and not to be overly hyperbolic with it, but you don't forget who the Nazi sympathizers were. You don't forget who the Vichy French were in World War II. And you're not going to forget Josh Hawley and J.D. Vance and Tommy Tuberville and these other guys coming up there and kissing the ring. You know who they are.
Thank you, you guys. So, but did you feel guilty? I've been trying to catch up with your videos. Did you feel guilty as charged?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, one of the neatest readings I've done on this, I did it while they were selecting the jury, and I did it again last night. This jury's solid. There's a lot of concern, a lot of anxiety people have that there's going to have one rogue juror. There's going to be some jurors who don't follow it. Yeah, but you've got those two lawyers on the jury, so they can really like the Two of Wands. They're like the poles on either end. They're going to keep the cats herded and moving in the right direction. The jury that I've read on it before the trial when they had the first half, solid. When they had the full jury, solid. And even again last night, this jury is looking at the facts and they're going to rule on the law. There might be somebody was saying like juror number 2 got their news from OAN and stuff like that. I think if there is a juror like that on there, they're still going to follow the law because the law is going to be really clear.
There was a Trumpster on the sexual assault case.
Yeah.
And voted guilty.
Or even if you want to go all the way back to the Paul Manafort case, there was a Trumper on the Manafort case that absolutely 100% believed Fox News and everything that was on there. And I believe it was a woman. She's like, but when I'm in the trial, as much as I want to give Paul Manafort the benefit of the doubt, the evidence was so overwhelming, she couldn't do it. And she absolutely wanted to. But, people, in the end of the day, some people have really good morals and ethics. And we just have to count that those people are there. And you can also think of it this way, Linda, as we all chose to come down to this world and the people like the Michael Cohens and the Stormy Daniels took a really big part in this lifetime, so did those 12 jurors and those 6 alternates.
Yeah.
They chose to be here to have that role. These are the right people for that role. Let's trust that they're the right people to make the right decision for us.
Yeah, yeah. What does this mean? Ivy. Linda was one of the first, but she is too sick for me to watch. What does that mean? Sick? Does she think I'm overweight? What is she talking?
I thought the BBWs of the world. Yeah, I'm not sure.
That doesn't make any sense to me. So I can.
Ivy, I would say this: people can have different ways of communicating intelligence and communicating thoughts across. And somebody might not come across as intelligent or as eloquent in their speech. Linda keeps things very simple and very real. It's one of her biggest appeals to her audience.
She doesn't want to watch me. She doesn't want to watch me, but I have no clue what she's talking about.
Yeah,
I tell people that write me and say, "Oh, you do this or you do that," and it's like, that's okay, that's cool. Don't watch me.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, my numbers keep going up.
like Trump's full numbers. And some people may not like Stormy Daniels for the stuff that she does, but man, the people that like her love her. And that woman, and talk about somebody owning it. She's not a victim to Trump. It's like, yeah, I made a mistake. I put myself in a bad situation. That's my fault. I own that. I'll never do that again. And that's the kind of energy we need, because Trump is the exact opposite. He's everybody's victim.
Yeah. No, I'm not letting naysayers get under my skin. I don't understand the statement. It doesn't make any sense to me. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa Foster. And my cousin's here. Cousin Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, well, I've got the numbers to show the love that you guys send me. So thank you. So I thought Stormy was amazing. Does she feel good about herself?
I think she does. You want to throw on it? I can throw on it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think she feels that woman oozes confidence. It is just, it's an amazing thing to see on that one.
I love the orange turd comment. Well, he called me a toilet.
And she's going to flush him down. Throwing on her really quickly, because of this trial, all of a sudden, all these back deals or all these deals, sort of things she's working on in the background, things that she's passionate about, are all going to come to fruition.
That's great.
So think of like she's got a 3 of coins. So this trial is going to, people knew who she was, but now that they've seen her and know who she is and what her passion's like, she's going to, it's almost like if she were to start a foundation or something along those lines. Like if Melinda Gates wanted to get real edgy, Melinda Gates will hook up with Stormy Daniels and start programs to help women that have been, or even E. Jean Carroll. You can see she's going to, think of that. Melinda Gates and E. Jean Carroll teaming up with Stormy Daniels to fight for women's causes. Oh, good Lord, I'm here for that. That's just pure sexiness all the way around.
Well, listen, did you see what happened? She had said Melania made some sort of comment about her being a hooker. Did you see that? I loved it.
Nice new boobs. Can't wait to see the nudies.
She said, well, actually, I don't get paid for sex, so technically I'm not a hooker.
No.
Has sold your, she didn't use a polite word, starts with a P, who sold this and your soul, And by the way, love your new breasts. And posting those nudes. If you Google Melania Trump, you will find nudes.
Yeah. When I've thrown on Melania, the vibe I get from her, both her and Donald are narcissists. Donald's a malignant narcissist. He's just got to tell everybody how wonderful he is. She's a covert narcissist. And to explain that to folks, a covert narcissist, put yourself back in medieval times. A covert narcissist thinks that they're a countess or a duchess. They're up here and peasants are down here. A covert narcissist doesn't tell you how wonderful they are. You should already know it. They don't have to say it. You don't have to acknowledge it. It's just understood. And medieval times is a great way. I'm a queen. I'm a duchess. I'm a countess. I'm a peer. I'm noble. You're a peasant. You're in the mud. You're down here. We don't even need to discuss it. That's kind of where she is. So when she looks at the Karen McDougalls and Stormy Daniels, they're peasants in the mud and she's above the fray.
Right. But even Michael Cohen in his testimony said, what's the upstairs? He met Melania.
Yeah.
Thank you, and what's going on? What is she thinking? And he said, basically, never mind her.
Yeah. Trump said, "How long do you think I'll be on the market for?" And to be honest, Trump's right. He's well known. He's got a lot of money. There's going to be women who want that financial security, and they'll put up with all sorts of garbage in order to get it.
She lives her own life. She's secure. She can spend money, and they don't sleep in the same bedroom. Because can you imagine the smell?
I'm looking for it. I keep seeing Melania leaving before the end of summer. It can happen basically from Friday on. And it could be, that was the other thing that I was thinking on Friday. Melania could launch the divorce missile on him on Friday too.
Yeah.
Don't go to Barron's graduation. And by the way, here's my divorce papers. I got to be 18 and out of high school. I'm gone. Bye.
Did you see the look on her face when Trump walked her to the car at the funeral?
Oh, I heard about it. I don't think I actually saw a video of it.
The look, it was just, and poor even Bannon, he had to walk away.
Yeah, I think he asked his dad if he was okay or asked his mom if he was okay.
Mona wants to know where I got the name Comanche Cole. I don't have the name Cole, but I am a registered Comanche native. I have an allotment number, so I use my native heritage to identify myself, Mona. Okay, I didn't just come up with it,
Well, it's not so much as a marketing tool, but it's a way to remember Linda G, because there's a lot of names out there. So how do you differentiate it? And that's the only one that I've seen that has like a Native American
right. And I'm very proud of the Comanche Native card. I have a card that there's only 8,000 of us, I think. But anyway, I'm proud to have it.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, you don't lean into it that much during your readings. It's just a way to sort of differentiate yourself and to acknowledge the heritage that we're in. Kind of like how Libby always acknowledges the War of My Nation when she does her readings over in Australia.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Luana. Mary's asking about the January 6th case. Oh, is that coming up? Oh, yes. Is that coming up before the voting? I feel another case is coming up.
I think it will. And it's because the Supreme Court's given Tanya Chutkin, who's the judge on the January 6th case, they've given her a path, because I've always seen the Supreme Court, just like with this, the Colorado case, the Supreme Court does Donald Trump favors by kicking the can down the road and buying Trump the delay that he wants. Even this immunity case, which is just ridiculous, they're going to kick the can down the road and say, well, you need to apply some type of standard to see if it's a private action or a presidential action. So in order to do that for the Jan 6 case, Tanya Chutkin can call a evidentiary hearing where all the evidence is presented, just like a court case, but there's no jury, and then she can decide what's private and what was presidential. So it's almost a way that we can all watch the whole case laid out in front of us without it actually going to trial. And ultimately, that's what we want. We want the American people to see what happened during January 6th. Whether Trump, now they'll have to have a second trial with the jury to convict him or not, but it's not that we're worried about him getting convicted. We want the MAGA folks, or not so much the MAGA, but the folks that are not decided yet, or maybe don't understand what happened on January 6th, to see what happened and open their eyes and understand what is at stake come November. That's what we really need.
Yes. Tanya said, do you see Biden pardoning Cohen? I don't, but what do you see?
it would be politically risky to do that. I could see Cohen being pardoned down the road. It may not be Biden that does it. It might be somebody later on. Let me take a look. I get an Ace of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, Hanged Man, and the Empress. Somebody's going to take care of him. I don't. Sorry for the laughter, because like somebody pays them a lot of money to do it. I think there's value to doing it. It's about the timing, though. You can't do it too soon, because then people are going to think that Michael Cohen was bought off, and that's what led to Trump's thing. So it will happen. It's just going to take some time. You have to wait till the timing's right.
And the only reason to pardon him, he's already served the time, but would maybe to help him get his license back, but he won't get his license back. I think that might be part of that. Could be with the Ace of Coins, is that it gives him a livelihood. But at that point, Michael Cohen might be making more money on his Mea Culpa podcast and hanging out with the Midas Touch brothers and things along those lines, that he may not want to practice law. This is way more fun than working. Yeah, exactly. So Irene says, when will Freeman, Ross, and Sandy Hook parents of victims be paid from Giuliani and Jones?
Not soon enough.
I think after the new thing happens, the new trial, not the new trial, that Biden goes back in, I think they will pay, because they can't get pardoned or whatever from Trump.
Yeah, this is going to be like the OJ thing, where Alex Jones is just going to constantly be hiding money, and they're always going to be chasing after it, trying to find it.
Right.
Hopefully, it's one of those things when Alex Jones is not exactly the healthiest guy on this planet either. Right. And just like OJ, when he passes and you've got an executor, then I think that's when they're going to start getting their money. It's almost like Alex Jones, his way of winning the game is to not pay them while he's alive.
Oh, okay.
You see what I mean?
Well, they're going after him and Giuliani. So we'll see. They might actually force things being taken away. Somebody asked if my children are registered. Yes, they are. My grandchildren can't be registered. But Comanche tribe takes up to eighth blood. My mom was half, I'm a quarter, and the children are eighth. Okay. I saw another question. Back in the 1940s, when American nationalists attempted a coup and supported Nazism, supporting Hitler. Oh, he's saying we've seen this before.
Yeah, in the United States before.
It's very clear that energetically we will save ourselves this time.
Yeah. Well, that's been kind of the recurring message for the last 8 years, right? When Trump got elected, we looked to our political leaders to save us, and they couldn't do it. Then we looked to the FBI and the Department of Justice to save us, and they couldn't do it. And so we had to vote, and we got COVID, and that finally voted him out. But even after that, we looked to the GOP leaders to get him out of there, and they wouldn't do it. So again, it's going to be up to us to figure this out and save ourselves. And it's really frustrating, because all we want is Superman, all we want is one hero to come down here and, knock him out, take him off to jail, and then hooray, the world's saved. Exactly. Unfortunately, it's going to be us as a collective that does it. So much for Hollywood.
So you picked up Biden's going to win too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think it'll be a little more than what they're asking, than what people are saying. But this morning on Morning Joe, did you see that they want to file charges against Merrick Garland for not answering a subpoena, for not giving them a video? He gave them a script.
Is this the House committee that's trying to impeach Biden?
Jordan, the one who doesn't appear for his own ones. What do you think of that?
I had just thrown a spread just before that one. Not that there's going to be a surprise to anyone, but because Trump's already started, they're going to say the election was stolen and just try and get the MAGA base activated. But again, there's no evidence for it, and I've got a 4 swords and a 6 of swords underneath it. They're going to say the election's stolen. They're going to try and fundraise off of the poor MAGA folks, but there's nobody's buying it this time. Nobody's going to rise up and storm the Capitol and get out there because, as you get the four swords.
More than 3 people over in New York right now. He's asking for all these people to show, and they don't.
Yeah, and exactly. And I think that's another reason why those Republican Congress people are there. They're trying to gin people up. But there's 1,000 of them in prison for January 6th. I know, once bitten, twice shy. They're not. His most fervent followers got felonies, lost their jobs, went to prison, lost their families. They're not going to do it again for him.
No.
And the other ones weren't. If they didn't do it on January 6th, they're not going to do it now. So it's just going down.
Astrologically, Putin looks bad, Netanyahu looks bad, and Trump looks bad. Jennifer just asked, will Putin use military force in Norway or any other NATO country?
Okay, without even throwing cards on that, he knows better.
Okay, because I felt no. I felt he's about done.
He's got more. He's bitten off more than he can chew in Ukraine, and that's not a testament of the Russian soldier. It's a testament to corruption over the last 50 years. That they've added a lot of money to defense to stem off the Americans, but in a kleptocracy like they're in, everybody takes their little slice of the pie.
Yeah.
And so if you put $1 billion to maintaining your missiles, by the time you get down to the actual maintaining the missiles, there's like $50 million in there because 95% has been siphoned off. So, their tires were rotting on their vehicles. The MREs, the food that they eat, was all the expired stuff because they sold the new stuff for money and skimmed off that. Yeah. So normally it's like milk on the shelf. You get the old stuff eaten first and then the new stuff goes in the back. Well, they get the money for the new stuff. And after they've skimmed off the money, they bought the new stuff. Then they sold the new stuff online, made more money off of it. And then the soldiers can eat the expired stuff.
Oh, my God.
Because they were supposed to destroy the expired stuff. And they don't. They give to the soldiers.
Almost 3,000 in the house.
Wow.
And by the way, I'll be on today with Sue Lynn on her show. Busy day.
I love Susan Lynn. That woman, she has got. She and I are kind of cut from the same 2x4. The one of the things that Susan Lynn had thrown out there that I love is that she's like blunt force trauma walking. Oh, that's all I need to do that. Let me just walk on through and pow, 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 I'll get it done. And then Spirit's like, no, that wasn't quite the way you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to do it a little more elegantly. And I'm that same way. It's like, oh, this is what needs to get done. Let me just plow right through it and get it done. And it doesn't work like that.
To our event in Sedona.
What's that?
Sue Lynn came to our event in Sedona, and she'd never talked to the public before. She had a microphone on stage. She was funny. You would have thought she was a professional. She had people rolling.
She's another one of those women that I guarantee you when, if you met her in person, well, I've not met her in person, you have, what you see on the camera when she talks about it being 60% spirit, 40% her, that's her. That's her. Camera on or off, same person.
She is hella funny.
Yeah.
And she gets it. You know what I'm saying? So, did you have any questions you wanted to ask?
Myself? Let me think about that one for a second. If you want to go another one, go for it.
I'm curious about my take on something. Okay, let's see. Everybody's saying hi to each other. I'm looking for questions. Oh, what do you see by Eileen Cannon?
Okay. And I think my question I was going to throw to you was, what do you think, or when do you think Melania is going to launch the divorce missile on Donald? I don't
think he's going to live long enough for a divorce.
Yeah. Do you think she might serve him when he has a stroke or something like that, and she's like, heck, I'm not changing his diaper or changing his cup?
She stays with him now because of the son. But let me tell you that he's not going to win. And that if she considers divorce, it's when he doesn't win.
Do you think she'll pull a Jackie O and find some rich oligarch to live in the Mediterranean happily ever after?
She's not old, but she already has lovers. She's not with him. Yeah. Sleep with that.
Okay, so we had a question. Do we have a question here? Or you're asking me to throw on something?
Oh, hold on. Yes, he has her own apartment in Trump Towers. Oh, Aileen Cannon. What did you get on her?
Let's see. Let
What?
me read on her current energy.
Hold on.
Okay.
Aileen Cannon has stepped down? Hold the bus. Let me Google it.
Yeah, exactly. You got to double check those.
It's not all over the news.
You would think it would be headline news right up there with co-headline news with the Trump trial.
Let's look, you guys. No, there's nothing here. Her clerks have walked off. She has, there's a big 300,000 signatures to have her removed, but she has not stepped down. I was hoping that was true. Did you get anything on Biden being on the Ohio ballot? I think he's going to be on it.
Yeah, kind of the same way that the Supreme Court said, no, you can't kick Trump off the Colorado ballot. It's kind of be that argument in reverse. It's like, no. If you can't kick Trump off the ballot there, if they say, Biden didn't register in time for Ohio, that'll get appealed, that'll get stayed, and he'll be put on basically for that same reason. You can't just not have him on there. You can't set your deadline 2 weeks before the normal time that they have their convention. That's ridiculous. Exactly. There's ways to work around that. With Aileen Cannon, there's and I had seen this before too. There's an investigation going on between it's a nascent investigation. It's just starting between her relationships and Donald Trump. Basically, that she's been working with folks behind the scenes that have helped her in the past, and that's coming out now. And I think, and the lesson to be learned was the Two of Wands, the two clerks that left.
Yeah.
Gary and I just read on this one. I don't know if that one's up yet. That might be up later on this week. He had two law clerks. She had two law clerks that worked with her. These are prestigious jobs working under a federal judge, and they both left. And I think they went to Jack Smith because my Jack Smith card is the outcome, and they spilled the tea.
Okay, because I feel like Jack Smith's not as worried as you would think.
Exactly. Now, who was it? Was it you that was saying you see Jack Smith with his feet up on the table? I can't remember if that's you or Kim or.
Okay. With his feet, with his Subway sandwich over there next to him.
Yeah, he's that guy's an assassin. He is an absolute assassin. You do not mess with him. Mershon's got that same kind of vibe, although I think Jack Smith is an even colder assassin than Judge Mershon. But yeah, I think he's got the ammo. So now it's just a matter of when he unleashes it. I think in this case, though, I don't know if we'll get the Mar-a-Lago documents case before the election, which any ethical judge should have had it on there. This is a black and white documents case. This is easily done. And so it's really obvious what she's doing and how corrupt it is.
Yeah. Oh, and those guys, they said a lot of them walked into the court today's meeting. Mike Johnson, J.D. Vance, all those people that showed up, his son, they all walked in late. and then sat down in the 3 rows, and they were talking, I think on CNN, they said, the judge looked very irritated, but he made no response. And I think that's how smart he is. He could have said, what the hell do you guys think you're doing? You don't walk into a court. I'm surprised they let him through. But he made no comment. And that person that was sitting in the front from CNN said that the jurors never looked. They were just watching.
Now, I could be petty.
Okay.
If I were Michael Cohen, I think at one point I might, during my testimony, lower my voice to a whisper. And when they ask, why are you whispering? Oh, I don't want to wake up the defendant. Just something subtle like that, and just the courtroom will bust into hysterics, and Trump like what was that? What happened? What did I miss? It would be just the snark move to pull.
A lot of people hate Katie Tor.
Who's the now as a contrary to that, who's the dark-haired woman that's on Fox that is very much a Democrat, and she just truth bombs them all the time and leaves them speechless. She's amazing. It would be like having Jen Psaki on Fox. I don't remember her name because I've only seen her a couple times.
Pete Buttigieg, he don't mind going on Fox.
Oh no, not at all. But this one's an actual Fox employee.
Oh, I know the one that kind.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, she just owns them. Oh God.
Okay, so Nana said, "Is Steve Bannon? Oh, he is going to prison."
Yeah,
he did something, but I see longer for prison. What did you get on him?
So the Department of Justice recommended that he start his prison sentence immediately because he failed to show up for Congress. So they nailed him for contempt of Congress, and he's trying to appeal it, just like what's his melon that also is now currently serving. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Let's see. I think they're going to make him go. Knight of Coins. They want him to go now. He's trying to use his money and his connections to fight it. But he's getting prepared for it. He's not looking forward to it. He's actually stressed out over this, and maybe offers kind of like a plea deal. Can I wait? I think though one of the reasons for getting him in there now is it takes him offline with his podcast, and that lowers the temperature over the summer. Once he's in there, he's going to be in there for 4 months. He's not going to be doing his podcast. He's not going to be riling people up. And so you want to time that with the election, which is in November. So if they can get him in there by July so that he's, I'm not saying to silence him, but you know what? You're the one who's been appealing these things. If it happens in July during the prime election time and you're an instigator like he is, like Roger Stone, you've done that to yourself and you weaken Trump's campaign because you don't have this false pearl-clutching narrative out there.
Yeah. Will he actually have to take a bath, or do you know?
Well, I would imagine he might.
So unappealing about him. There's just. So listen, Dorian said, "Well, how about Jordan ignoring subpoenas?" I think when Biden wins again, and this Congress is out, I think they will come down on Jordan like he came down on everybody else.
Yeah, the minute that if the Dems and I do see the Dems taking all three houses. Yeah, the minute the Dems get all three houses, they have a lot of things they need to do on their agendas, but holding their peers accountable for subpoenas will be something that starts happening again.
Yeah,
and it needs to.
Where's Kevin? Kevin just said something funny. Where are you, Kevin? He said he looks like Jabba the Hutt. So yeah, there's Dan, and Dan was the one. Dan was the one that told me about you, and I'd already known you and encouraged you to be on you. Remember, I went through chemo. I still have a partial, not as bad as it used to be, but I have a short-term memory. And that's why it's so hard for me. It's very hard for someone else to work in my place and answer my emails. It's almost I have to do it. But the thing is, I get lost. Like I have 15 requests for collabs. And I don't want to ignore anybody, but sometimes I forget to get back, But I don't want to ignore anybody.
Do you have somebody that manages your schedule, or do you do it yourself?
I do it myself. And because that's my YouTube.
Yeah.
He goes through the comments, so I don't go on with cray. He gets rid of the cray-crays or the bots. There's a lot of bots saying WhatsApp. And by the way, you don't have a WhatsApp, right?
No.
I
Yeah,
don't
I would never ask my viewers for money or offer free readings or offered for paid readings on a WhatsApp or something along those lines.
yeah,
And every once in a while, I'll post that up on my Facebook page or this.
yeah, and they notified me right away, Linda, this was on reply, and I'm like, yeah, ignore it. And then I send it to Dan, and Dan cuts it. And he writes something like, stand down, Biash. So,
I wonder, Dan, if he liked the Don Johnson 48 hours shaved look from the 80s and he just never bothered to adapt with the times after that. But yeah, Bannon looks slovenly, and that's why Trump didn't like him.
yes, I
His
know.
optics were terrible.
And he said he complained about him crying like a baby when he fired him. Did you see that?
No, I don't believe that. Trump says everything about that. I don't. No way Bannon did that. But I absolutely believe Trump couldn't stand Bannon's look, because Trump's all about look and optics. That's his. It's actually, for what it is, he's really good at reading that.
And let me tell you something else. He doesn't like fat people, but he's fat.
Mm-hmm.
But he judges people who are overweight, which is very interesting. Okay, and also I wanted to ask you, there was a question I really wanted to ask you. So I don't see Merrick Garland coming on the next term. What do you get?
Yeah, I've read on that one. What I see happening is the conversation's probably already started, and sometime in the fall, probably post-election, that Merrick Garland will be wrapping things up and resigning his post from the Department of Justice, and he will be replaced with somebody new. And they'll also think about, Merrick Garland did a great job. He was here for 4 years, and most attorney generals don't last that long, and we're really da 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 da. I think, though, he's also kind of screwed the pooch as far as getting a Supreme Court position. That's one I haven't read on yet.
Supreme Court, no. That's what Justice Cannon thinks she's getting.
Yeah.
Trump told her this much.
Yeah.
He said, I'll make sure you're in, but you know what? He's not going to win, so forget about it. So we have, I usually don't go over an hour, and it's 47 minutes. 3,455 in the room. Thank you. I want to, thank you. Lorraine obviously knows what she's talking about, but she said beautiful, Linda.
Clearly.
Just kidding. But okay, so what I want to ask is do a quick little layout and give us a little bit what you guys might say towards the future. Anything that's next week. You will feel something Friday, which makes me think, and then I'll talk to Andre. Andre on Thursday. Maybe we get a guilty, not guilty on Friday. So give us a little looking towards next week.
Okay, what do I got coming up for next week? All right, we start off with I'm going to bring it down real quick here. So we start off with the Magician card crossed by the Page of Swords. So something big is going to manifest either with a young person or with a traitor in the camp type thing. Let's see where it goes with it. I think this is the Trump trial. You've got a manifestation in here with the trial. To me, this is Judge Merchan sitting in front of the jury. The defense, I don't think the defense is going to put no witnesses up there or something to that effect. Jury instruction is going to go out there. The defense isn't going to like it. They're going to argue it over it. There's a lot of passion that's going on with it. The truth is going to be revealed. There's a walking away. I think the jury's going to come up with a verdict, and they're going to find Trump guilty. If this is it, if Michael Cohen is the last person testifying, I think that the judge gives his instructions. Trump's team tries to get another mistrial, doesn't work, goes to the jury rules. It's going to take the jury about 3 to 5 days at least to do this. It's going to be about a week.
Deborah just said there's no trial on Friday.
Right.
So
right. He's going,
guys, yeah.
I don't know when if the defense doesn't put anybody up, I think this is going to go to the jury. The jury is going to convict. It could start, the deliberations to start next week. And I do think the deliberations will take 3 to 5 business days to complete, because they're going to be thorough. This is a president after all.
PC writer, I saw and I will find it, that Trump said he would consider her for a SCOTUS position. She's a great judge, and let me tell you, if a SCOTUS position comes up, I would put her in it. So I don't know who's saying that's not true, but it was out of, he was talking, I think it was on YouTube, and he was talking about what a great judge she is.
It's a believable scenario given with Trump.
Yeah, because that's what keeps her going for him.
Yeah, and CC might be right.
The defense just said they have no. Are they done?
No, they're going to put. Oh, they're not going to be done with Michael Cohen anytime soon. They're going to drag that guy through the mud.
Yeah, he's still on. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so my thing for next week is just what you're saying. But listen, there's some hardships here. I think they will be fighting about jury instruction. But look at the good news that's coming. Look at this, you guys. Karma's a bitch. And there's a woman in particular. She might be from the jury. She might be interviewed and talks about something, but there's a woman in particular that presents to them back in the room. We'll consider this, because they're not going to base everything on Cohen, Michael Cohen.
Yeah.
Not everything. They have Pecker, who was an excellent witness. They have paperwork. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Cohen's kind of like, remember the connect the dots game we had as a kid? He had a picture of a tiger and you don't know it till you connect the dots. All the dots are laid out. All Cohen is doing now is just connecting them all together to give you the final picture. But they need Cohen's testimony in order to say that Trump was there, understood it, and did that because he was in the room with Trump. And the only person who can refute Michael Cohen's testimony is Donald Trump. So he'd have to test. The only way he's going to win is if he testifies.
Yeah. Can I tell you something? I definitely feel that after he's found guilty, that's when he starts really going downhill.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It felt like that's when maybe he even makes a hospital visit. Something's going to happen.
If Trump does not, if and when he has his health event, the vibe I've always gotten from that is, well, first off, Spirit will decide if that's the right time for him to go.
Right.
And that, that works out the best for whatever the big plan is. But I suspect he'll survive it, but his camp will keep it quiet. He's just exhausted. He works 23 hours a day. He never sleeps. He just needs to rest and recoup. And kind of, you can see it rolling into when the RNC starts voting for their candidate. Trump and his team are not going to let him know that Trump is basically got tapioca for a brain at that point.
Exactly.
And then they're going to nominate Trump as their pick. And then, they try and wheel him out, get somebody up, waves his hand, then wheel him back off again before anybody's any the wiser. If you've seen Young Frankenstein, it's the whole thing with when they dug the body out. And now they're stuck with this guy because he's their candidate and he's on the ballots. And if he passes, you're going to write in Nikki Haley. Most of his supporters can't spell Nikki Haley correctly.
Oh, real quick before we close out, Nikki Haley, is she going to say vote for Trump, or is she still going to be quiet?
I think she's going to be quiet. My readings on her is Trump was right after she dropped out. He was lobbying her big time because he wants the money.
Yes,
he wants her money big time. And I think he hung the VP thing in front of her, and she declined that one.
Well, he was rude as hell to her. He got too ugly.
But, it would have made sense for her to potentially take it, just like these other guys, because, Trump's health is terrible, and he likely will not, if he got elected, which I don't think he will, he wouldn't survive the 4 years. And then all of a sudden, Nikki Haley is now president.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Well, you guys, we had 3,610. Thank you guys for coming. I'll be on with Sue Lynn at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. I think Central. So what would that be Eastern?
7 p.m. It's at 3 hours.
Okay. So thank you guys. And listen, it's been an absolute delight reading with you. This is fun. I think Dan's right. We should make this something that keeps going.
I would love to have a recurring one.
Be on with you and your brother too. You guys, you have a new show.
Yeah, Gary and I just started our channel. I've had my brother on. I have an identical twin brother, for those not in the know, and we just started a joint channel between the two of us called Twin Tarot with Gary and David. And
just subscribe to it. I didn't have time to watch it.
And I always have this vision. Gary and I have we sound alike. We have a similar sense of humor. It would be like what Car Talk was to car repair, would be the two of us to like spiritual tarot readings.
There you go.
It's a hoot. And I would love to get on a regular thing with you and Gary. The trick with Gary is I'd love to be in the same room with him as we're talking, because we play off each other a lot.
So where does he live?
He lives over on the peninsula. It's about he lives in San Carlos, and I'm over in San Ramon.
Okay, so yeah, a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah, weekends would work out great if we were doing something like that. Otherwise, we'd have to work something out during the week, because he works and I work full time.
Probably weekend would be better then.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Water Lily Dan. Lisa Foster. Who else did I have here? Some of my Hilda, some of the Sharon, Equus. Just looking for our people that kept it clean. So, okay, thank you guys. So we'll catch you on the other side. We can't wait till next week.
Oh God, it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out.